Welcome back to the podcast. This is Layla Rose, and today we are discussing Venusian energy, priestesses, and sugar babies, and what do they have in common? So, the original template of the sugar baby is the priestess, and I feel like the reason why this is very triggering for a lot of people is because a lot of people are triggered by the divine feminine power, which is all about receiving and being and increasing her value. And a lot of men get jealous of that energy because they work super hard. They're not appreciated within the job that they have. And I'm just talking about the masses, right? I'm not talking about like specific people. But when you look at the masses, a lot of men are working jobs that they hate. They're working long hours. They're being treated like crap. And then they go on social media and they see women not doing anything, just being pretty and being sent these huge amounts of money, and they're like, why and they get mad. But they're actually not mad at women, they're mad at themselves because they don't know how to break out of that programming, and so they take their anger onto women, which is so dumb because taking your anger is not gonna be a solution to what your soul is craving, which is freedom. So when it comes to Venusian energy, I feel like the easiest way to explain the Venusian energy, it's an energy that's very lighthearted, that's very bright. It's the energy that's connected to the heart chakra. It's usually also associated with the color pink or red or like hot pink. Barbie is very Venusian, very, very Venusian, especially the last movie they did, the Barbie movie. When you look at the script, actually, the whole movie is about the rising of the divine feminine because it's Venusian coded. So obviously all the pinks and everything, it's showing that, in Barbie land, Barbie or the women are the ones, I wouldn't say in power because like men and women are equal within the first, within the beginning of the movie, right? But the woman has options. She can be whatever, she can have whatever career she wants, basically. That's what it is. But at some point, Ken, I think he couldn't, sleep at Barbie's house or something. And like, that's when he became, the wounded masculine, which the wounded masculine is very cocky, he's very arrogant. He's afraid of the divine feminine. He wants to control her because that's the only way he thinks he's going to be able to be with Barbie, or, he becomes like a playboy, and it's interesting because that's what's happening right now within history. A lot of men are rebelling against the divine feminine, and I don't know, I heard some pretty crazy stories recently, and I try not to pay attention to the media, but that's what's happening. And they're trying to revoke all these rights that women used to have been having since 100 years. And there's this huge battle, right? Which is a clear sign that the divine feminine is rising. But if you do remember that movie, the women, the women is winning at the end because they were able to have this strategy where they basically bring them, I don't know how to explain that. The men start to fight with each other. That's what it is, basically. And while they're fighting, the women are taking over their rights. They're taking over their Barbie land society, but that's also what's happening right now. A lot of women are refusing to be intimate with men if they're not providing, if they're not paying all their bills. And of course, it's creating a lot of fights between men, especially, but men and women. But while everyone is fighting, a lot of us are rising anyway. And so the Venusian energy, when it comes to her, if a woman doesn't have dark Venusian energy, so the dark feminine, to protect her heart, what's going to happen is that she's going to be exploited, taken advantage of. A lot of celebrities are Venusian starseeds, and they don't know it. One of them, which, that had a tragic story, is, Britney. Horrible what happened to her. And people who think she's free are just, they're not psychics, I guess. They don't understand, like, what's going beyond. Like, if a lot of people bought the book and they just fed the beast, like, the money didn't go to her. Like, she's not there anymore, obviously. But the masses are just completely blinded by all these marketing strategies. But Britney was a Venusian, and there's a lot of Venusians that are celebrities, singers, and they have this, like, very bright aura. And that's something that people usually tell me as well when I go in public, like, and I meet new people. People are like, oh my god, like, your light is so bright. Like, it just, like, for a lot of women, like, especially the wounded feminine, it just triggers the crap out of them. It just makes them mad for no reason. Like, I just enter the room and I smile and they're like, "Urgh." And men are, like, instantly attracted, and they want to, this is something that has been happening my whole life. I could be walking somewhere and then men would, like, run from behind me to open the door for me, or they just are naturally extremely masculine, because when you embody Venusian energy, this is what it does to men, which is very cool. But we do need the dark Venusian energy to protect ourselves and have boundaries and have high standards, because unfortunately the Venusian energy is the most seeked energy. We can see the Venusian energy a lot in arts, in luxury. Actually, luxury brands are based on the Venusian energy. Isn't it crazy? And a lot of women don't know that. And so they don't see themselves as a luxury, I wouldn't say brand, but like essence. They don't see themselves as luxury because of all the programmings that have been running, in our society. But yeah, this is the original template of the sugar baby, because for people who are educated, who have been a sugar baby, or for men who have had a sugar baby, we know that the SEX is basically non-existent for a lot of us. Like, it's that's not what it is, a lot of men harvest and feed off feminine energy just by her being present. So a lot of times when I got offers, which I did accept because I was like, why am I not gonna say no? A lot of times the offers that I get is like, I would love to, bring you to dinner, and I'm gonna pay for you for you to be there, because they know I'm not just gonna leave my house just like, for no reason. But yeah, like, men usually give me like between $1,000 to $2,000 to just be there, for me to just be seen next to them, because for a lot of them, they just love this. It's not even, it's scientific, actually. There's a lot of studies on that. But when a man enters a room with a very Venusian, beautiful woman, it's going to increase his value as a man. He's going to be like women are going to be like, who is that man? Who is he? Like, and even men, they're going to be like, oh my God, he must be wealthy. Like, that's just assumptions that people do. And I remember I went on a date one time, and I would go to the bathroom often for some reason. I think I had some wine, and whatever, wine just makes me go, pee a lot. That's just, I know it's TMI, but it's related to my story. So when I would go to the bathroom, I went at least like 5 times within a few hours, right, that I was there. Every time I would leave the bathroom, I would see a woman that was like next to the guy that I was having a date with start running away from him. And every time I would ask him, I would be like, what was that? And I would be laughing. He was like, oh, she was asking for my number. It happened 5 times. So through this date that I went to with this guy, he was able not only to be, in my presence, but he was able to have 5 phone numbers of gorgeous women. And the guy did not look wealthy. Like, I knew he was, but like, it's not the type of man like you would know. He had like a regular car. He was dressed like very modest. Like, he wasn't like flashy at all. He wasn't particularly attractive. He was like a gentleman. Like, he was very, respectful. But like, you would have no idea that he is like a billionaire. But I knew, because I'm a psychic. I can see, I know everything. But the women were like, if she's sitting next to him and it's been a few hours, obviously there's something going on. Like, he must be really wealthy. And that was actually one of my lessons. Now I don't stay hours and hours, at a restaurant with a guy. After like an hour, I usually tell them like, hey, I really have to go. I need to get some stuff at the mall. And then if they're really interested, what's going to happen? And I leave. Like, it's not a game. I literally go to the mall. And what happens is that a lot of times, if they're really interested, they're going to be like, oh, well, can I come with you? Of course. Oh, that would be so fun, right? And then all you have to do is act very Venusian at the mall and be like super excited. And then they're going to feed off that excitement. They're going to be excited for you. So they're going to get all the things that you want. But obviously it works on men who are interested in you. If they're not, if they just want to get in bed with you, first of all, they're not going to go to the mall with you. They're going to be like, okay, bye. Or they're going to try to like lure you into their house and be like, oh, can we go to my place or whatever? And you're like, I don't have time for that. But usually when men are respectful and they're gentlemen, they're not going to ask you anyway to go to their place. So that's a huge red flag if a guy does that. But yeah, this is the modern day priestesses, which I also call priestessing. So the verb priestessing, instead of like sugaring or sugar. I don't know. It's just, I use those words just for people to like understand what I'm talking about. But I love the word priestessing instead because it's connected to the sacredness of this type of, I wouldn't say work, but I would say it's kind of like a vocation. I don't think women like decide to be a Venusian. I think you're like, it's part of like your heritage, your DNA. If you have starseed energy and you are Venusian, you haven't decided it. Like, it's just you, and yeah, I've had friends who, would get so confused about why men would just like spoil me all the time. And I would just get so many views on social media when I would show my face and just not do anything. It would make them angry. So a lot of times Venusians have to live in solitude. We don't have a lot of friends, right? Because people get easily jealous and angry at us for no reason. So we kind of all live like hermits, like in all different parts of the world. So that's why I was like, let me make a podcast so we can just like connect at some level. But yeah, like this is the reality of being a Venusian priestess, aka sugar baby. So if you have any questions, by the way, let me know, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next episode. Bye.